Hey everybody. Tonight we're going to have a before and after look at my 125 here. I'm going to do a water change, I'm going to wipe down the glass, but I'm also going to get in and work on the filter a little bit tonight. I don't really remember last time I did any work on the filter in this tank, so that's usually a good indication that it's time to get in there and get the filter cleaned out. So we're going to have a look at that while we're in there. And other than that, all I'm going to do is a simple before and after. We're going to wipe down the glass and change out some water, and that's it. So give me a couple minutes. We're going to get started. I'll see you guys in just a moment inside the filter. Alright, but before we get started, I just want to share a little lesson I learned. Hopefully maybe it'll save somebody else from making the same mistake. If you see this bag here, this is the feet. Little plastic feet that are supposed to go underneath of this console, and for whatever reason I never put them under it, which would have raised it off the floor about a half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. I just set it right on the floor, and of course I left my RO system running one night. The basement got water on the floor, and this press board, which is basically glued together sawdust, swelled up and expanded. And I wound up having issues with the door. I could swing the door open with a great deal of difficulty, but then it would not swing shut. This bottom piece here swelled up. It expanded this way, and when the door tried to swing shut, it wouldn't go past. And I got frustrated, as I do very easily, and on about the third attempt, I just shoved, and now my door is no longer attached, and when I want to put my filter away, I just kind of lean the door up against where it used to have hinges attached to it. So let that be a lesson to you. First of all, make sure you put those feet on your consoles. Secondly, when you're about to get frustrated, don't just jam and shove things. Take a breath, walk away, and come back and do it properly. Otherwise, you will have a door that you have to lean up against things rather than just swing open. So let me go get my buckets, and we will actually crack that thing open and look inside and see what we got going on. Well, it doesn't look too good, but it also doesn't look incredibly terrible. Keep in mind, this is the very top layer, though, so if it looks this bad up here, it's probably going to look pretty rough by the time we get to the bottom. One of the reasons I don't do this filter often enough is because the plug for this filter is all the way back there, and it is really difficult for me to get my arm back there to even get it unplugged. It almost physically hurts me to shove it back there far enough. So today I put an extension cord into the socket, and we've got this plug now directly into an extension cord, so I'll be able to just pull it through and unplug it from now on. It'll be a little easier for me. But yeah, this has been quite a while since I've emptied it out. This is getting pretty funky as we get lower and lower. We still got 2 more trays to go. Excuse me. Yeah, those are my sponges. Oh, I can't imagine how long it's been since I've done this. This is disgusting. I don't think I've ever let one of my filters get this gross before. Yep, that is pretty funky. Alright, well, I've got something I'm going to go do to all this stuff as we repack it. So we're going to go over to my work area while the tank is still draining, and we're going to go repack those with fresh material, and then I'm going to show you a little improvement I'm going to make while we're in there. Alright, so let's have a good look at one of these trays that actually has the damage I've been talking about from the UV radiation. You see how the plastic is just deteriorated away? Don't pay any attention to the scrubbies, we're just talking about the column right there that the water is supposed to flow through. You can see how it looks like it's been just dissolved away with acid or something. That is a result of the ultraviolet radiation. It breaks down plastics, it deteriorates them. That's why we put the dark window tint in our cars if we live down south. It will just completely bleach out the interior and fade the colors. UV radiation will destroy our tattoos. You should always put sunblock on your tattoos. It's harsh stuff. So that's what happens to plastics after they've been exposed to UV for a while. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take these two trays that I've already repaired with a piece of PVC pipe, that's polyvinyl chloride, and that is UV resistant. It really won't break down under UV radiation. Well, technically it does, but when it breaks down, the part that breaks down is very superficial, and then that actually blocks the UV radiation from penetrating any deeper, so you don't get any more damage, and it just pretty much lasts and lasts and lasts. So I'm going to replace the top two trays with these trays that I've already fixed. The UV light does not stick far enough down inside to get to the third and fourth trays down at the bottom, so as long as these top two trays have this PVC pipe on them, we're good to go. I will then use the other two trays that are still intact, and we'll put them down in the bottom part of the filter, and then that will leave me these two trays, and I can go ahead and repair them at my leisure. And the next time I get in to do a water change on one of my other filters, I can do the same thing. I can go ahead and replace them with these remanufactured, or these fixed ones, and so on and so forth. And eventually I'll have all my filters back to where I can leave the UV filter running all the time, because I do prefer to just keep it on, and we can talk about that in some other video. Also wanted to just point out, I used my roll of batting again, but I'm getting kind of low. This is the end of the roll. But today I am using batting for this type of filter rather than my hang on the back filter, so I just cut the sheets wider. That's why I like this stuff. It's really versatile. You can use it in any kind of filter you want. You can cut it in any kind of shape you want. So what I do is I basically just fold it over 4, 5, 6 times like I quilt it, and then you can sort of cut and tear a section out of the corner so you can fit it around your sleeve there. This one, likewise, instead of using one of these and just reusing it and rinsing it out over and over, which I am going to do for one of these trays, but for this tray, I simply use my batting, and I've rolled, folded it over 2 or 3 times, and then that's what we will go ahead and use instead of one of these, and that'll add a little more filtration in the second to the bottom tray. And then as we get closer to the surface, this will go in the third to the top tray, and this will actually help more with biofiltration than any kind of mechanical filtration. And then of course we're going to finish off with my bio balls and then my scrubbies there, and that'll be all my biofiltration. So my tank's just about drained out. I need to get the water swapped over and filling back up, so the next time I see you, we will be over at a nice clean finished tank. Alright, I usually like to wait several hours after a water change before I film my final segment, just to let all the water settle down and let everybody get back to normal behavior and get over all the stress, make sure there's no bubbles on the glass, etc. Sometimes a tank can look pretty rough after a water change. Today, however, not a lot to talk about, and it's getting late, so we're just going to go ahead and wrap this one up. You can see there's still some bubbles on the glass, but you can also see pretty clearly how much tannin I reduced from the tank. You can see my tenopoma, that's his hiding spot when he's feeling stressed out or upset. He tucks himself in there. Pretty good camouflage. If you didn't know he was there, you wouldn't know he was there. So other than the filter, nothing really to talk about. Again, I just got in there and wiped the glass down, did a water change, and that was about it. I pulled a couple little fronds of this water sprite off that were getting a little rough, a little gross looking, so I pulled them out, and there was some floating debris on the surface that I pulled out. Other than that, no biggie. I did put the extension cord on there, as I said, so now when I just pull my door off that's leaning against there is the plug right behind the filter, so I no longer have to worry about reaching behind my quarantine tank to get to the filter. So hopefully I'll stay on top of that filter a little more, because that was really disgusting and really overdue for a filter change. So thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you're subscribed. You never know what you're going to get. Don't forget, this is my 125 gallon tank. Thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you real soon in the next one.